The first screams don't come from sirens. They come from balconies, from windows thrown open in panic, from people who feel the floor move beneath their feet like the entire city has been placed on a shaking table. Right now, in Pozzuoli, the streets are no longer streets. They are splitting seams, thin cracks that widen by the second, crawling across pavement like black lightning. One moment cars are parked normally. The next, the asphalt beneath them snaps and tires drop into jagged gaps that weren't there minutes ago. A woman runs barefoot across a sidewalk, clutching her phone like it's the only lifeline she has. Behind her, the stone wall of an old building shudders, then fractures, sending dust pouring down like smoke. And the sound, it isn't just the rumble of shaking ground. Witnesses describe it as a deep, grinding roar, like concrete being crushed, like the earth itself is twisting. People spill into the streets in pajamas, coats thrown over shoulders, children crying in confusion. Some don't even grab shoes. They don't grab bags. They don't grab anything. Because they can feel it. Something is wrong under the city. A man near the harbor points down at the ground, shouting to anyone who will listen. The crack at his feet is widening. It's not a hairline fracture anymore. It's a visible split. Dust rises from it in thin bursts, like the ground is exhaling. Across the neighborhood, a streetlight tilts at an unnatural angle. A row of parked scooters collapses like dominoes as the pavement shifts. Then, a sharp jolt hits. Not gentle, not distant. A violent punch that makes people stumble and fall. Windows rattle, alarms scream, dogs howl, and suddenly the panic spreads faster than the cracks themselves. Because the tremor isn't stopping. It keeps rolling beneath the city in waves, small bursts, then bigger ones, each one making people look at each other with the same question on their faces. Is this the one? More cracks appear near apartment blocks, near storefronts, even across the edges of sidewalks where families are standing. Someone yells that the road is collapsing toward the water. Another person shouts that a building is leaning. And above all of it, there's the fear that nobody says out loud, but everyone feels. Pozzuoli sits on one of the most dangerous volcanic zones on Earth, and right now, it's moving. A local shop owner stands frozen in the middle of the street, staring at the ground as it splits wider. He whispers something that the camera barely catches. It's opening, and behind him the crack stretches onward, like it's searching for somewhere to go. Within minutes, the streets of Pozzuoli are no longer just crowded with residents. They're flooded with uniforms. Police vehicles push through narrow roads, lights flashing blue across cracked buildings and terrified faces. Officers shout through megaphones, ordering people away from unstable walls, away from anything that could collapse. But the problem is, there is nowhere safe to stand, because the ground itself is the threat. Right now, emergency crews are moving fast. Firefighters jump out of trucks before the engines even stop rolling. Paramedics weave through the crowd, stepping carefully over fractured stone. A child is carried out, shaking but alive. Phones are up everywhere. People are filming everything, and what they capture is terrifying. The cracks aren't isolated, they're spreading. A police officer shines a light into the darkness below, but from below, something is coming up. A strange smell. Sharp, bitter, chemical. People nearby start coughing. The air feels wrong, like it's been contaminated. Now the first official vehicles from scientific monitoring agencies appear. They rush toward the fractures with sensors. They speak quickly, urgently. And even from a distance, their body language is unmistakable. They are alarmed. Then a new tremor hits. Not huge, but enough to make everyone stop talking. Enough to make the scientists look at their equipment like it just confirmed their worst fear. Barricades go up. Officers begin forcing people away from the most unstable zones. The crowd erupts, not in anger, in desperation. It's becoming clear, the authorities aren't here to reassure anyone. They're here because something bigger is starting. They are trying to stay calm, but their faces say they are terrified. Right now, inside monitoring rooms across southern Italy, alarms are lighting up like a Christmas tree. Not one warning, not two. Multiple systems, seismic, gas, pressure, are all flashing at once. Because what's happening in Pozzuoli isn't random. It's coordinated, it's building. Deep beneath Campi Flegrei, the ground is swelling, not by centimeters over months, by visible movement in days. Entire sections of the city are rising, lifting roads and foundations like something massive is pushing upward from below. Locals have seen it before. This region has a long history of the earth breathing, rising and sinking, but never like this. Not this fast. And now, the tremors are coming in clusters. Not a single earthquake. A chain. A relentless drumbeat under the streets. Small jolts every few minutes. Then sudden spikes that rattle buildings hard enough to send people screaming out of stairwells. Scientists track the pattern on screens. Lines, waves, red markers multiplying across the map. And the deeper they look, the worse it gets. Because the epicenter isn't staying still. It's moving. It's crawling. The shaking is spreading along a line that cuts through the region like a hidden scar. One quake hits near the harbor, another follows inland, another deeper, another farther east. And now the terrifying question starts to form in the minds of experts watching this unfold. Is something carving a path underground? Outside, near the fractures in Pozzuoli, the air itself is changing. Witnesses report the smell of rotten eggs growing stronger near the cracks. That smell is sulfur, an unmistakable warning sign in volcanic zones. People cough, their eyes water. Some cover their faces with shirts and run. Then it gets worse. A dog collapses near a sidewalk, legs twitching. A man rushes to pick it up, yelling for help. People back away in horror because they don't know if the air is poisonous. And in a region like this, it can be. Gas is seeping upward through fresh fractures, silent, invisible, heavier than air. It pools low to the ground, slipping into basements, parking garages, underground tunnels. And the most terrifying part? You don't see it until it's too late. Emergency crews begin placing portable sensors along the streets. The numbers climb quickly. Some of the responders exchange looks and step backward, pulling masks tighter. Now officials begin warning residents to stay away from low areas. But panic has already taken over. Because people aren't just seeing cracks, they're seeing their world become unstable. Walls are splitting inside homes, tiles are lifting, doors no longer close properly. Entire buildings are shifting on their foundations, twisting like they're being slowly wrung out. And then comes the detail that sends fear through every scientist watching the data. The depth readings are changing. The tremors are no longer staying deep underground, they are climbing. The earthquakes are becoming shallower, closer to the surface, meaning whatever is moving below is rising. Pressure is building, gas is rising, the ground is swelling, and the tremor clusters are tightening, like the region is winding itself up. In the monitoring rooms, experts stare at the newest charts coming in. One of them whispers something that isn't meant for television, but it's caught on a hot microphone. This isn't settling. This is opening. And right now, in Pozzuoli, people don't need charts to know something is wrong. They feel it with every shaking step. They hear it in the creaking buildings. They smell it in the air. And as night begins to fall, the tremors don't fade. They intensify, as if whatever is beneath Campi Flegrei has decided it's time. Right now, the cracks in Pozzuoli are no longer being treated as simple damage. They're being treated as a map, because what emergency crews are seeing on the ground matches what scientists are seeing underground. A line, a long, unnatural fracture pattern stretching outward, cutting through streets, neighborhoods, and buried rock, like something has ripped open the earth from the inside. And when the newest measurements come in, the number hits like a punch to the chest: 8 kilometers. An 8-kilometer pathway, forming beneath one of the most volatile volcanic zones on the planet. Officials don't say the word tunnel, they don't say channel. They use careful language, trying to keep the public calm, but their hands are shaking when they point at the screens, because this isn't just cracking, this looks like connection. The line stretches beyond Pozzuoli, beyond the immediate danger zone, beyond where the city ends and the countryside begins. It runs like a scar across the region, and it's still growing. And now the fear spreads into the command center like wildfire, because the direction of that pathway isn't random. It's pointing east, toward Naples, toward the dense urban sprawl packed with millions of lives, and toward a name that makes every Italian citizen go cold: Vesuvius. Right now, scientists are refusing to confirm it publicly, but inside emergency briefings, inside closed rooms with maps pinned to walls, The same phrase keeps being repeated in low voices. It's lining up. The tremors are lining up. The fractures are lining up. The deformation of the ground is lining up, as if Campi Flegrei is reaching outward, stretching something beneath the crust toward the sleeping volcano that already has a history of ending civilizations. Then the cameras catch something chilling, a drone shot. The crack line isn't just in one street, it's in multiple streets. Multiple points, a chain of ruptures that form a visible corridor, like the earth has been scored, cut, and is now being peeled apart. And as responders walk along it, they notice something else. Heat, not fire, not burning pavement, but warmth rising from places that should be cold. A firefighter places his palm near a split in the asphalt and pulls it away instantly. The surface is warmer than it should be, then the gas readings spike again, not a little, a surge. And for the first time, the people in charge stop trying to hide their fear. They begin evacuating zones that were never supposed to be evacuated yet. Schools are emptied, public squares are cleared. Entire blocks are ordered to move, not tomorrow, not later, now. Because right now, the 8-kilometer fracture isn't just a crack, it's a warning, a corridor, a pressure release line. And in volcanic systems, that can mean only one thing. Something is forcing its way through rock. Something is traveling. Something is searching for an exit. And if Campi Flegrei truly is forming a pathway toward Vesuvius, then this isn't one volcano waking up. This is the possibility of two. Right now, fear is spreading faster than the cracks, not just through Pozzuoli, but through the entire Naples region. Because once the word starts circulating, 8 kilometers, connection, Vesuvius, it stops being a local emergency. It becomes a nightmare with a population count. 3.5 million people. That's not a statistic anymore. That's families, hospitals, schools, packed apartment blocks stacked like dominoes, all sitting on ground that is beginning to move like liquid. In Pozzuoli, the streets look like an evacuation drill gone wrong. Cars are jammed bumper to bumper. Some vehicles are forced to turn around because the roads ahead are no longer safe. Cracked open, uneven, fractured like broken glass. A father drags 2 suitcases down the sidewalk, his daughter holding onto his jacket so tightly her knuckles turn white. A corner of an old wall gives way, bricks spilling into the street. People scream and scatter. A woman drops her bag and runs without it, because when the earth is unstable, nothing feels worth saving except breathing. In Naples itself, panic hits differently. Here, the city doesn't crack open in plain sight. It trembles underfoot. People gather outside cafes, staring at their phones, hearing rumors multiply with every passing minute. Some are crying. Some are laughing nervously. Some are calling family members again and again. And then the hospitals start preparing. Not officially announced, not yet, but it's happening. Emergency rooms begin clearing space. Nurses whisper to each other in hallways, eyes darting toward windows every time the ground shivers. At one clinic, a mother holds her baby close, rocking back and forth as the lights flicker. The baby doesn't cry. The baby just stares. In Pozzuoli, one family refuses to leave. An elderly couple stands at the doorway of their home, watching the street crack. His wife whispers that they have nowhere else to go, and that sentence lands like a knife. Where do you run when the danger isn't a fire you can see, but the ground itself? And in the middle of this chaos, a young boy standing in the street, clutching a small backpack. He looks up at his mother and asks one question. Is the volcano waking up? His mother doesn't answer, because she doesn't know, and right now, nobody does. Right now, the emergency response is starting to crack, just like the ground. Because what began as localized fractures in Pozzuoli is turning into a regional breakdown, and the systems designed to protect people are being pushed past their limits. The first thing to fail is movement. Roads that should carry evacuations out of danger become traps. Traffic jams stretch for kilometers, engines overheating, drivers abandoning cars in desperation. Police try to redirect vehicles, but every time the ground shakes, people panic and surge forward again like a flood. Then, the infrastructure starts giving up. A section of pavement collapses near a main intersection, swallowing part of a lane and forcing vehicles to stop instantly. A bus sits stranded, tilted at an angle, passengers climbing out through the doors with shaking hands. Some are crying, some are screaming at the driver, and some just stand there frozen, staring at the jagged hole in the road like they're looking into a grave. In the harbor area, emergency crews attempt to keep people away from the waterfront, but rumors explode. Rumors of the sea pulling back, rumors of tsunamis, rumors of explosions underground. The crowd doesn't trust anyone anymore, and right now, trust is the only thing holding order together. Then the communications begin to fracture. Cell networks overload, calls fail, messages don't send. People refresh their screens again and again, watching spinning loading icons like they're waiting for permission to survive. Police radios crackle with overlapping voices. Too many reports, too many incidents, too many locations to cover. A dispatcher shouts coordinates. Another voice interrupts. Another emergency call comes in. A building is damaged, a road is splitting, a woman is trapped, a child is missing. It becomes noise, and in disaster, noise kills. Now the tremors hit again, stronger, closer together. A supermarket in Pozzuoli loses power. The lights flicker, then die completely, plunging aisles into darkness. Shoppers scream and stampede toward the exit, knocking over shelves, leaving carts behind like abandoned skeletons of normal life. Outside, sirens scream non-stop, but even the sirens begin to feel meaningless, because there are too many places breaking at once. Firefighters race toward one collapse, only to be redirected mid-route, because another structure is cracking worse. Paramedics treat injured people on sidewalks, because hospitals are already filling up. And now the worst sign of all appears. Authorities stop giving specific instructions. Instead of go here, it becomes stay calm. Instead of evacuate this street, it becomes await further updates. Because right now, even the people in charge don't know where the danger will strike next. The cracks are spreading unpredictably, the tremors are migrating, and the region is becoming a moving target. In the middle of it all, a voice on a loudspeaker repeats the same phrase over and over, "Please remain calm." But nobody is calm because the ground is still shaking, and control is slipping away. The situation in southern Italy is no longer a crisis, it's a countdown. Night tremors are accelerating, striking in fast bursts. People are fleeing their homes again. New reports confirm tremors migrating east, forming a seismic corridor from Campi Flegrei directly toward Vesuvius. Scientists fear the two volcanoes are linking underground. Gas sensors are spiking, the ground is swelling. Officials are quietly preparing evacuation routes. If these systems connect, we aren't facing an eruption, we're facing a catastrophe. This may not be the end, it may only be the opening.